Welcome to the AI Hustle Podcast, the podcast where we break down the latest in AI news, tools, and interview experts helping you hustle and do more using AI. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you'll know that over the last 6 months, I've been working on a stealth AI startup. Of the hundreds of projects I've covered, this is the one that I believe has the greatest potential. So today I'm excited to announce AIBox. AIBox is a no-code AI app building platform paired with the App Store for AI that lets you monetize your AI tools. The platform lets you build apps by linking together AI models like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and 11 Labs. Eventually will integrate with software like Gmail, Trello, and Salesforce, so you can use AI to automate every function in your organization. To get notified when we launch and be one of the first to build on the platform, you can join the waitlist at aibox.ai. The link is in the show notes. We are currently raising a seed round of funding. If you're an investor that is focused on disruptive tech, I'd love to tell you more about the platform. You can reach out to me at jaden@aibox.ai. I'll leave that email in the show notes. Today on the podcast, we are going to be talking about some major new features coming to ChatGPT soon that were discovered by a Reddit user who came across them while he was looking into their source code and found some really cool new things that they're going to be doing. So on the podcast today, we're going to be diving into what these new features are and what the implications are for the AI landscape in general and for ChatGPT. So it appears that OpenAI is getting ready to put out another update of ChatGPT, and possibly this is the really highly anticipated business version that they've been talking about for a while. And there was a recent Reddit user that was looking through the source code on ChatGPT, and he came up with a interface that seems to validate, this theory that they're about to launch their new business tool, and it has some really interesting features. One of those features being the ability to upload files. Now, this is something that a lot of people have been asking for a very long time. I've actually even started to see other AIs tease this, including tools from Anthropic's Claude, I believe, is saying that they're going to be able to do file uploads, and I've seen a couple demos but haven't actually been able to get my hands on a working version that does the file uploads. So this is going to be a really interesting thing. On the new UI that they kind of were able to pull out of the code, it appears that there's a couple new things. Number one is that you have workspaces. So if you have an organization, for example, you would essentially, I'm assuming, be able to see the workspaces, or maybe perhaps there's projects that can be shared within your own company. In addition to that, you have what is called My Profile and My Files. So My Files is a place where you can actually upload files. This is really powerful for corporations that have, a lot of data they would like to upload, perhaps on their own company, and they want to be able to query using ChatGPT to query what is going on internally with their company. So they could upload financial reports and all sorts of other bits of data, query it, and have ChatGPT give them really robust answers. Now, of course, a lot of people are concerned about the privacy there. I've personally, while talking to different investors for my own venture, had different people bring up the concern of, well, I'm not going to put my own company's private data into ChatGPT. So, what are the solutions around that? We've even had companies like Chase and, Samsung tell their employees that they're not allowed to use ChatGPT or put any company personal or, private data about the company into that because they're worried about leaks happening there. So, what is the solution here? And so this is actually something that a bunch of these different features all seem to validate and point towards. But back in April, OpenAI came out with a blog post, and it was the one where they were talking about the ability to turn off chat history in ChatGPT. And they're, essentially saying that they're going to be working on new privacy rules. And they said that in the new version, which is in this new business version, that they aren't going to be using your data to train models by default. So they said, we are also working on a new ChatGPT business subscription for professionals who need more control over their data, as well as enterprises seeking to manage their end users. ChatGPT Business will follow our API data usage policies, which means that end users' data won't be used to train our models by default. We plan to make ChatGPT Business available in the coming months. This is back in April, so this seems right along the right timeline where this new feature will be coming out. In addition to this, they also said, finally, a new export option in settings makes it much easier to export ChatGPT data and understand what information ChatGPT stores. You'll receive a file with your conversation and all other relevant data in email. So obviously they are taking privacy more seriously and really just, I guess, trying to be more transparent about what data they actually collect and what data they actually have. You're able to go request that from them. And so this is going to be really interesting, right? They said that users' data won't be used to train our AI models by default. And that, I guess the caveat to this is on ChatGPT Business. So, the free users, I'm assuming their data is still going to be used to help train the model. Since if you are, if you have a product for free, you are the product. I think that's, abundantly clear with the way the internet works today. So this is a really interesting thing. The one other thing I did want to bring up is in the new leaked features, there's something called My Profile. And under My Profile, it says, add any information that you'd like ChatGPT to remember about you and your preferences. Now, this I think is really interesting because it's almost like a starting point for all the conversations where, like, a lot of times when I'm using ChatGPT for my businesses, I have to remind it of integral important parts of my business. But imagine if you didn't have to remind it. You could just have kind of like a profile area where there's a certain set of things it always knows about you. And an example of this would be, one company might say, like in all of our marketing content, we are always happy, bubbly, and that's kind of like our brand tone. And so they put that in there, and every response it ever gives them about anything that their company would be able to publish is in that right tone, and they don't have to include that into a prompt or ask it to do that every single time. I think being able to do stuff like that would be really good. Brand tone makes a lot of sense. If you're primarily using it for a certain department, then the department might have specific criteria or things that it would just like included or known every single time. And so I think that this My Profile area is a really powerful thing you could do. You can have, essentially you could have a bio about your company written in there about, what you are, who you stand for, what you believe, what you make, what you do, who your customers are. And then when you give it prompts, you could be like, inclusive of everything in our bio or in our profile, what do you think the best thing we could do for X, Y, and Z would be? And it's kind of just like having this default settings and information about yourself that I think would be really powerful. So this new file upload, this new profile section, and this new workspace ability to be able to connect as a company or a department, I think is going to be really powerful. And I think I'm expecting this to launch very soon. And in addition to that, I think that this really just aligns with what ChatGPT was promising in the end of April about rolling this out soon. So this seems to be right along the right lines for me, and I'm super excited to see when this thing launches and if there is any other features that we might have missed that they'll also be adding to this. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Hustle podcast. If you could do us a massive favor, we would really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps people find the podcast. It helps people know this is a good place to go. And we would really, really appreciate it, as it helps us continue to bring on incredible guests and share incredible content for you to listen to.